CIT 1121 presentation video of Module 1, Networking Today. This is our very first PowerPoint presentation. This might be the very first video that you're watching me shoot for the modules. I'm just going to walk through the PowerPoint presentations, then when we do the classes together, we'll do other interactive things. We'll talk about what we talked about in the presentation videos and what's in the chapter. Try to do some things that are a little bit more interactive rather than just lecturing straight through during the shared time that we have. So let's get into it a little bit here. So this is Networking Today. And in this chapter, they're just letting you know that networking's not going anywhere. There's a whole bunch of objectives that try to convince you, convince you that everything's going good with networking. It's a good career to get into. So they just kind of make you feel good about this is a choice that you made. You could have selected any kind of career path, and you chose to go through Cisco Academy, and you decided you wanted to get into networking, and they're just letting you know networking, it's good. It's a good thing to get into. And it's a very positive solution. So these are the topics, the objectives that we're going to go through. Let's get into the first one here. Networking affects our lives. I only left a couple of slides in here, and obviously networking affects our lives. And one of the things I like to talk about is I do mention that there was a time when there was no internet. I was alive for that time. There was no system to pass data back and forth quickly through any device. And then people started buying computers, and they had a dial-up solution where we used a system that was based on sending voice across the network or across the world. And we used it for data, and then the data network started to appear, and then that kind of rolled over. And then we'll talk about convergence in a few minutes, where now we use our data network to support voice, and we use it to support video. And we used to have just a strict system that would pass video traffic for broadcast television. So it's all kind of come back together with this data solution that's available to us, and everybody is getting connected faster and faster. Like I said, there used to be just one computer in the house. Now everybody has, a computer in their pocket, and everyone has a high-speed data connection in order to get to that. And what are the boundaries? I don't know what the boundaries are. The boundaries could be, I doubt those two people have service, to be honest with you. It looks like they're standing on a mountain, and unless they've got like some kind of satellite solution, I doubt there's a T-Mobile antenna within striking distance of these two. But you get the basic idea that we were connected almost everywhere, and the speed of the connections is getting faster and faster. The next section they want to get into is just the basic components of a system. And the first one we're going to talk about is what's called a host. So when you hear a professor or anybody in IT communicate to you that something's going on with the host, a host is just a computer. So a host is an end device. It's a device that's set to receive information from another machine, or it's set to send information because it has a question or it wants to deliver that information. Now, there's really two kinds of hosts. We talk about clients and we talk about servers. They put servers in here first. Servers are devices that provide services, like email servers. Oh, where's my email go? It goes to the email server, and then the email server downloads it to my host, my client, where I can look at it. Web servers. Oh, I want to go look at a website. Where do I go? We'll go to a web server for that. It's still a host. It's still a host, but it's a server. A client is just a device that is not necessarily serving anything, but is asking for stuff. So keep that in mind. When you build a network, there's a lot of different ways to set it up. Client server is one of those methods. Another method is called peer-to-peer, where there are no servers. Every device acts as a client and as a server, and the security and all the resources it's a distributed situation. So that's what they're getting into here when they talk about the idea of peer-to-peer. This usually works for solutions 10 systems, 10 hosts or less. Beyond that, you might want to start centralizing your administration. Could get messy. You could start having problems, people not keeping track of what they're doing, making things not good for you. So keep that in mind. All these devices are end devices, and an end device is just something that's going to send or receive that data. The opposite of an end device would be an intermediary device. An intermediary device would be like a switch or a router, and those devices are used to take in data and then send it on a path towards its destination. So these are some examples of intermediary devices here. Wireless routers, multi-layer switches, which is like kind of a switch and a router together, a LAN switch, firewall appliance, a router, all good examples of intermediary devices. These are the things that are going to retransmit those signals and allow devices to communicate with each other. Someone has to set these up and set them up and teach them how to communicate, and that's what we're here for. The way the intermediary devices or any device gets access to another device is through media. There's only 3 different types of media for the most part. You're going to use electric signal through copper wire. You're going to set up pulses of light through a fiber optic wire, or you're going to modulate a wave. You're going to put a signal inside of an electromagnetic wave, and you're going to send it along.